But Osas could not move on. He kept thinking about Joy. He could not believe someone would reject 30 million naira from him. His friends laughed and teased him mercilessly, but instead of walking away, their laughter made him even more determined. "Everyone has a price," he said with a smirk, "and I'm going to find out what hers is. Let's bet I will get that girl, and when I do, I will show all of you. Then we will see who is laughing." Osas was a very handsome young man. He was rich and came from a powerful family. His father was one of the most important men in Lagos, and Osas was set to take over the family business, Osas and Sons Nigeria Limited, a successful steel company. Even though Osas worked hard to keep his father's legacy alive, that did not stop him from enjoying life. He loved the fast life, partying, drinking, and most of all, he loved women. Osas had a thing for curvy women, and they loved him right back. Women were naturally drawn to him like moths to flame. And why not? He was rich, good looking, and very charming. Women chased after him. They fell at his feet and would do anything to please him, and he could easily get them to do whatever he wanted. He did not believe in serious relationships. Nah, for him everything was a short fling, a night or two at most. That was how he liked it. No commitments, no stress, just fun. His biggest cheerleaders were his close friends, his clique of Lagos big boys. They were all rich, stylish, and born into money. But among the 6 of them, Osas stood out. He was the richest, and he loved to spend. In fact, his favorite slogan was, "Money is for spending." Osas was living his best life. Everything was perfect. He had money, friends, parties, and all the fun he could ever want. Life was easy, and he liked it that way. Nothing bothered him, and no one told him what to do. That was until a certain young woman walked into his world and changed everything. Her name was Joy. Joy was beautiful. But that wasn't all. She was smart, calm, and kind. She had strong values and feared God. Joy came from a Christian home where her parents were respected elders in church. She was the oldest of 3 children. After finishing university, she became a biology teacher in a secondary school, just as she had always wanted. Her younger sister Amara was studying nursing in a college, and the youngest Chidi was still in junior secondary school. Joy's family did not have much money, but still, they did their best to give their children a good life. Her parents raised them well, teaching them to pray, respect others, live a good life, and most importantly, have the fear of God. And they all turned out well. Joy did not want luxury. She wanted a peaceful and simple life. Her life was just one constant, stable, and predictable cycle. Home, church, school, that was it. She was happy and content until something unexpected happened and disrupted the peace she once knew. That day started like any other. Joy was at school, teaching as usual, when her phone rang. It was her father. His voice was shaky. "Urgent. Joy, come home now," he said. She knew something was wrong. Joy quickly got permission to leave and rushed home. The sight that met her eyes broke her heart. Their house was sealed off. Her parents were sitting outside, looking tired and sad. Her mother had tears in her eyes. Joy ran to her father. "Daddy, what's going on? Why is our house locked?" Her father looked at her with deep pain in his eyes. "The bank came and took our house and everything in it. We are technically homeless now." Joy froze. She was confused. "The bank? Why would the bank want to take our home? This makes no sense. What really happened?" Her father could not speak. The words were too heavy to come out of his mouth. "We took a loan from them," her mother blurted out. "A loan? Why?" Joy asked, her eyes wide open. "I took it for the palm oil business," her father finally said. "I thought it would go well, at least help bring the business back to life, but it did not. Palm oil prices dropped drastically after I had bought at a high price. The market crashed and I lost all the money. What little change I got from it was invested into your final year fees and a part of your sister's nursing school fees. I hoped that I and your mother's monthly income could at least help, but all it was able to do was to put food on the table and continue footing Amara and Chidi's school bills. Nothing was left to service the loan. They have been on my neck for the past 1 year and 6 months. There's obviously no way I can be able to raise 12 million naira. 12 million naira. Joy's eyes nearly popped out. "That's a lot of money," she said to herself. She looked up at her father again. "How come you said nothing about it? I could have tried to help." Her father smiled sadly. "I knew you would have tried to help, my child, but I would never put such a burden on you. 12 million is a huge amount of money. Where would you have gotten it from?" Joy was silent. What her father said was true. However, they could not sleep out on the streets. She collected the bank's contact details and made up her mind to go there herself. Maybe, just maybe, she could convince them to give the family more time. Joy went to Skybank, praying quietly the whole way for a miracle to happen. And God answered her prayers. She pleaded, explained, and begged. And after nearly an hour of going back and forth, the bank manager finally agreed to give them 3 more months. If you don't pay back the full amount, 12 million naira, including interest, by the end of the 3 months, the manager said, we will have no choice but to take over and sell the house. It wasn't great news, but it was something. They had hope, and sometimes hope is all you need. That night, the family prayed together like they always did, and afterwards, everyone went to bed. But Joy could not sleep. Each time she closed her eyes, she saw the pain on her father's face and the tears in her mother's eyes. It broke her heart. She wanted to help, but she did not know how. 3 months wasn't a long time, and where on earth was she supposed to get 12 million naira? Her teaching job wouldn't give her that money, not even in 10 years. Still, she knew she had to do something. Maybe she could get a second job and try to pay the debt little by little. But then, what other job could she do besides teaching? The next day at work, Joy looked nothing like herself. Her eyes were tired, her head was pounding, her usual cheerful energy was gone. She struggled through the day, barely able to focus in class. Even in the staff room, she didn't speak much. Her closest colleague, Ayo, noticed. During break lesson, she walked over to Joy's desk, concern written all over her face. "Is everything okay, Joy?" she asked gently. "You've been quiet all day, and you don't look well." Joy gave her a small, sad smile. "I'm okay, Ayo. I'm just going through a lot, but I'll be fine." Ayo wasn't convinced. She sat down beside her. "Does it have anything to do with why you rushed home yesterday? You know you can talk to me. Sometimes sharing problems helps." Joy sighed and shook her head. "Ayo, see this kind of problem, eh? Sharing won't solve it one bit." "You never know," Ayo said softly. "Help can come from unexpected places." Joy paused for a moment, then she spoke. "My family is about to lose our home. The only one we've ever known." Ayo blinked. "Lose your home? How?" Joy straightened up and explained. "My father used to run a palm oil business. When it started failing, he took a loan from the bank to save it, but the market crashed. He lost everything. Now the bank wants their money or they'll take the house. We owe 12 million naira. 12 what?" Ayo gasped. "Ha! This one pass be careful oh. Water don't truly pass Gary. Ah, what are you going to do?" Joy shook her head slowly. "I don't know. I've been thinking but nothing comes to mind. I thought maybe if I could get a job that pays at least 100 or 150k monthly, I could start paying in bits." Ayo was quiet for a moment. Then she looked at Joy seriously. "Joy, I have a suggestion, but I don't know if you'll take it because of your, beliefs and all of that Christianity thing. But it's something that could help. You earn good money and still keep your teaching job." Joy's interest sparked. She sat up. "Please tell me, Ayo. I will do anything that doesn't involve sleeping with anyone or hurting anyone." Ayo leaned in and lowered her voice. "You know Club 360? Joy looked confused. "What's that?" Ayo smiled. "It's one of the biggest clubs in Lagos. All the rich Lagos guys go there." Joy's eyes widened. "Ayo, you're not saying I should go to a club and sell my body to some men?" "Calm down," Ayo said quickly. "You will only be serving drinks, that's all. The pay is really good. It starts at 160k monthly. Plus, you can make up to 20k to 30k a night on tips. Sometimes more. And the best part, you don't have to do anything you're uncomfortable with." Joy stared at her. "How do you know all this?" "Because I work there," Ayo said calmly. "Everyone has their own problems. My mom has a heart disease and I need the money to keep her alive for as long as it takes to get a surgery. Joy, life doesn't always give us choices. Sometimes we do what we have to do for the people we love." Joy nodded slowly. "But this goes against everything I was raised to believe. What will people say? What about my parents?" Ayo laughed quietly. "Those same people will mock you if you lose your house. And your parents, they don't have to know, but even if they find out, I believe they will understand." That night, Joy lay awake again, thinking about everything. Her heart was heavy, but the more she thought about it, the more she realized Ayo was right. There were no better options. By morning, she had made up her mind. At school the next day, she told Ayo that she was ready. Ayo smiled and hugged her. Since the club was on the island and Joy lived far away, Ayo invited her to stay with her. That way it would be easier to get to work and her parents would never suspect a thing. Later that day, she told her parents that she had gotten a night shift job in a big fancy restaurant on the island. It was the first time she had ever lied to them. Her parents were worried, but they also felt proud. They prayed for her and blessed her. And just like that, Joy moved in with Ayo. Every night from 7 p.m. to 3 a.m. they worked at the club. And every morning from 7:30 a.m. they were back at school teaching. It was hard, but Joy was determined. She quickly adjusted to the club life, and having Ayo there made everything easier. It was on one of those nights, while serving drinks with a tired smile on her face, that she had a chance encounter. An encounter that would change her life forever. She met Osas. It was a Friday night. Joy was assigned to serve drinks at one of the VIP tables, where the music wasn't too loud and the lights were softer. Seated there was Osas and his group of rich friends. Joy looked stunning in her black fitted dress, and her calm confidence made her stand out. The moment Osas saw her, he was hooked. She had the kind of personality he liked, and her pretty face made it even better. He stared at her most of the night, not because he was in love. Remember, Osas was never in love, but because of lust. He whispered to his friends, telling them the kind of things he imagined she could do to please him. They all laughed. As the night drew to a close, Osas leaned back, pulled out his business card and gently slid it into Joy's hand. "Call me," he said with a cocky smile. Joy wasn't surprised. She had seen that move too many times before. Almost every rich guy who had sat in this club tried the same thing. She looked at Osas, then at the other men around the table. Without saying a word, she smiled politely, gave him back his card and walked away quickly. Osas was shocked. That was not the reaction he expected. "What just happened?" he asked out loud. His friends burst into laughter. "Finally, one girl that doesn't want you," said Iki. Osas wasn't laughing. "She's just forming. Oh, I know her type," he said. Then he signaled to one of his guys, "Polo. Polo, I want that girl. Let her name her price. Whatever it is, I'll pay anything." Now let's talk about Polo. He was more like Osas's errand boy than a friend. He did everything Osas told him to do and never complained. In return, Osas took care of his bills, his expenses like new clothes, shoes, parties, you name it, all his expensive lifestyle. Everything was on Osas. Now, back to our story. The rest of the guys were surprised. "Osas, calm down now," one of them said. "Na just club girl. If she no gree, find another one." But Osas was determined. "You don't get it. I want her. I want to know how much she's worth. I want to know what gave her the guts to reject me. Not be woman again." So Paulo got up and went over to where Joy was standing behind the bar. He tried to talk to her gently, smiling and speaking in a calm voice. He begged her to take the offer. He even offered 10 million naira. Joy looked him straight in the eye. "I'm not for sale and I'm not interested. Please leave me." Paulo went back to Osas and gave him the news. Osas couldn't believe what he was hearing. "You offered how much?" he asked. 10 million. She still said no. I even asked her to name a price, but she said she was not for sale. This time, even Osas' friends were stunned. They told him to leave the girl alone. "Just free her, bro. She's not interested." But Osas was already annoyed. His pride had been hurt. He did not touch another drink or look at any other girl for the rest of the night. His mind was stuck on Joy. At 3 a.m., the club finally closed. Joy and Ayo stepped out around 3:30 a.m., tired but glad the night was over. Joy had already forgotten about the incident and did not even tell Ayo about it. They were walking towards the taxi park when a familiar voice called out. They turned around. Ayo did not recognize the guy, but Joy did. Her face twisted with annoyance. "You again?" she snapped. "Tell your friend, whoever he is, that I'm not interested and I will never be. I don't care how much he has. I will never sell my body for money." "He just wants to talk," Paulo said calmly. "And I said I don't want to talk to him," Joy shouted. "He'll pay 30 million, Paulo added. Joy and Ayo's eyes widened like saucers, but Joy caught her breath and replied, "I'm not for sale. No matter how much he offers. In fact, this is getting scary, because why would someone offer that kind of money just to sleep with a girl? Tell your friend he's a coward. That's why he keeps sending you. Go back and tell him I said no in capital letters." She grabbed Ayo's hand and stormed off. They did not stop until they were safely inside a taxi. "What just happened?" Ayo asked once the car moved. Joy let out a sigh. "Nothing serious, Joe. I served the table in VIP. One of the men gave me his card. I returned it. Now he's been disturbing me through that guy all night." "But Joy, I just heard him offer you 30 million. That's a lot of money." Joy gave her a sharp look. "So what? You think I should have taken it?" No, Ayo said quickly. "Of course not. I'm just saying. The money is tempting, Sha. But this kind of desperation, who knows if he's a ritualist?" "Ritualist or not," Joy said firmly, "I don't care. What he's asking for is a sin I can't live with. You know why I took this job? If not, do you think I'd ever step foot in a place like this?" And just like that, the conversation ended. But Osas could not move on. He kept thinking about Joy. He could not believe someone would reject 30 million naira from him. His friends laughed and teased him mercilessly, but instead of walking away, their laughter made him even more determined. "Everyone has a price," he said with a smirk, "and I'm going to find out what hers is. Let's bet I will get that girl, and when I do, I will show all of you. Then we will see who is laughing." His friends thought he was joking, but Osas meant every word. In fact, he was already planning his next move. The next day was Saturday. Normally, Osas would have been sprawled out on his bed till noon, scrolling through his phone, sipping fresh juice by the pool, maybe texting one of his many female admirers. But that Saturday had a name, and it was Joy. He couldn't shake her off. The girl who dared to say no, who walked away from 10 million naira and then 30 million like it was chewing gum change, who looked him dead in the eye and refused his advances. She had bruised his ego, but more than that, she had stirred something deeper, curiosity, obsession even. That night, he returned to the club, but this time, not with any of his friends, just him, his pride, and a need to understand who the hell that girl really was. She spotted him first, her brows furrowed. Like, what again? But she didn't stop walking. She kept moving between tables with her usual calm grace. Osas waited until the crowd thinned before he approached her. "Can we talk?" he asked. Joy barely looked at him. "You're still on this matter. When will you give up?" "I came myself this time," he said, his voice lowered, "just to show you how serious I am. I think there's something special about you." Joy let out a small laugh. "You don't even know me." "Exactly," he replied, "and that's why I'm here. I want to know you." But Joy wasn't buying it. "Well, I'm still not interested." And with that, she turned and walked away again. But Osas did not walk away. Nah. He stood there for a moment, watching her, and then he smiled to himself. "All right, Joy, game on." He gave it a week. No drama. He did not approach her, just silence. And then the next Friday came. He went back again to shoot his shots. At exactly 3:30 a.m., Joy and Ayo stepped out of the club, ready to go home. The night had been long, the music too loud, and their feet ached from standing. "God, I just want to sleep," Ayo groaned. Just then, a voice cut through the air. They turned. It was Osas again. Joy rolled her eyes. "What is it again?" "Please," he said, "just hear me out." Joy's arms folded across her chest. "I came wrong the first time," he continued. "You did not deserve that, and I'm really, really sorry. You're the first woman who ever said no to me, and you don't know what that did to me. I couldn't stop thinking about you." Joy raised an eyebrow. "And now you think I'll suddenly say yes?" "No," he said. "I just want to know you, the real you, no games, just me." Ayo looked at Joy and gave her a tiny nod like, "Let's see where this goes." Osas looked around. "It's late. Let me at least drop you home." Joy hesitated, then shrugged. "Fine." The drive home surprised her. Osas was effortlessly funny and they laughed, talked. He even teased Ayo a little. He wasn't entirely a horrible person, she had to admit. When they reached home, he turned to her. "Can I have your number?" She paused for a moment as if thinking about it, and then handed it to him. Osas was delighted. The first stage of his mission had been accomplished. The next morning, her phone rang very early. It was him. "Good morning." His voice was softer than she remembered. "I just wanted to hear your voice." They ended up talking for over 30 minutes, close to an hour. He made her laugh more than she expected. And when she told him he had to get ready for church, he did not complain. He simply said, "It's Sunday, I have nothing planned. If you're free, please have dinner with me." If Joy wanted to decline, the look Ayo sent her changed her mind immediately and she accepted. Later that afternoon, there was a knock on the door. A package had arrived for her. Inside lay a breathtaking black dress, a set of sparkling diamond earrings and a necklace that shimmered like stars. And attached to it was a note that said, "Something perfect for someone perfect. Be ready by 7. Ayo nearly screamed out her lungs. Joy! This guy is not playing. Joy stood there speechless. Nobody had ever treated her like this, not even close. By 7 p.m. she was ready. Osas picked her up himself in a posh car, dressed like a man who knew the weight of his intentions. The restaurant he took her to, oh my god, it was classy, candlelit, jazz humming softly in the background. It felt like a dream. Over dinner, they talked and laughed like old lovers. She learned a few things about him, and she also shared a few details about her life. I like you, he said finally. I've never met anyone like you before. It doesn't matter how many times you have said no to me. Something about you keeps bringing me back. Joy smiled sadly. You seem like a nice guy, but this can't work. Why not? He asked. You love the club, the parties, fast life, the worldly things. I'm sorry to say, but I love God. I'm just a simple church girl trying to survive. Osas was stunned. A church girl working in a club. I needed the money, she explained. My family got into serious trouble. We're going to lose our home if we don't raise 12 million. I had no idea what to do or where else to turn to. My teaching job would never give me that kind of money, even in 10 years. Something in him shifted. She wasn't the kind of girl he thought she was, not the kind he was used to. She did not melt at the sight of money, even though he could clearly see that she needed it badly. She had depth, principles, innocence. He should have walked away then, but he had already bragged to his friends he would get her. His ego wouldn't allow him to lose, so he played his role. I'll change, he told her. I'll prove to you that I can become a better person. I can become the kind of man you want. And he did. He called every morning, took her to school, sent her gifts and flowers to her job, and had his driver take her home in the evenings. Then he played the jealous lover card. He wanted her to quit working in the club. He even offered to pay her double of whatever she earned there. I don't want those hungry men hovering around you, he said. Joy thought it was sweet of him, but she declined. She was not going to depend on a man to survive. And so he started having his driver take her to the club and make sure she got home safely every night. And on Sundays, he went to church with her. They sat together in church, side by side, like a godly couple in the making. Imagine Osas going to church. Well, Joy could not help herself. She fell hopelessly and helplessly in love. When Osas saw she was his, heart, soul, and body, he made his move. It was a sunny Sunday like any other. Church was over. He invited her to his house. Come see where I live, he said. Joy agreed. She saw no harm in it. She trusted him already. His house was more than she imagined. Beautiful, tasteful. But it was the penthouse that left her speechless. This is my escape, he said. No one else has been up here ever, even my friends. She felt special. They had had lunch prepared by his cook. They laughed and finally sat to watch a movie. They sat close, too close, talked like old lovers. Then suddenly the atmosphere changed. They both felt it. Osas looked into her eyes, leaned in and kissed her. She did not pull away. That kiss led to more, and somewhere between her heart and her body, she surrendered. She lost control. For Joy, it was love. For Osas, it was supposed to be more like victory, winning an impossible battle. But there was something that surprised him the most. Joy had been a virgin, and he had taken it from her. He was not feeling so victorious after all. He regretted his actions immediately and started to fear that this game he was playing was not going to end well. What Joy did not know was that Osas had planned that day to the letter T. In fact, there was a camera planted in the room. He had filmed everything that happened there that day. After he dropped Joy off at home, he wanted to call his friends, maybe grab a few bottles of beer, but he could not bring himself to do it. The guilt of his actions was almost impossible to bear. He went home instead. Osas sat alone in the penthouse, his phone in his hand like it weighed 1,000 bricks. He knew the video was there, but even he could not bring himself to play it, knowing fully well what it had captured. For the first time in a long time, Osas did not feel victorious, not even the smallest form of satisfaction. He felt vile. For the next few days, he threw himself into work, determined to forget about Joy, but he could not. He avoided her like a plague, stopped calling or texting, and when she did, he did not pick. Even his friend, he ignored, and even when they did meet, he was unusually quiet. They were all eager to know how far he had gone with the girl from the club, but not in this life was he about to sell out Joy or taint what they had shared. For that matter, he started avoiding them entirely. Meanwhile, Joy was heartbroken. She cried so hard, called herself a fool for even believing him and letting him in just like that. Ayo did her best to console her, but it did not help. Joy nearly broke down, but the thought of her family and how they depended on her kept her going. At least she had been able to get the bank to agree on a monthly installment of 200k. All she could do now was move on and learn from her mistake. It was now 2 weeks since he had seen or heard from Joy, and those weeks had been hell for Osas. He knew for sure that he had fallen in love with her, and he had fallen hard. If someone had told him that a day like this would come, he would never have believed it. He fought the feelings, but he lost. By the end of the second week, he decided to find Joy. He could not go one more day without seeing her. It was a Monday. Joy and Ayo had just closed from school and were stepping out of the gates when they saw this posh black car parked outside, and standing by the door looking so handsome and miserable at the same time was Osas. Joy paused. Anger mixed with hurt started to rise in her chest. She turned towards the other direction and started to walk away when his voice stopped her. "Please, don't walk." Joy stopped and faced him. "You already got what you wanted, Osas. Can you please leave me to lick my wound in peace?" she said calmly. Osas flinched. The words hurt, but he knew he deserved it. He looked around the school premises. Curious students were giving side glances. "Let's not do this here," he pleaded. "Let's find somewhere and talk. I can explain everything, I promise." Joy wanted to be stubborn, but there was always Ayo standing as the voice of reason. Ayo, wanting to give them space, excused herself while Joy got into the car. They drove in silence for what seemed like 30 minutes, and then finally he pulled up in front of a simple, quiet restaurant. "I'm not going in there with you," she said sharply. Osas faced her. "I know you are very angry and probably hurt, and I acknowledge that it's all my fault." His eyes clouded. "See, I was scared, Joy. I realized that I had fallen so deeply in love with you, and it scared me. I ran. I thought I could just forget about you if I stopped talking to you, but I could not. You are like a drug in my veins. I cannot get over you. I've never felt this way for any woman in my whole life. You make me want to do things I have never imagined myself doing. You came into my disorganized world and made it perfect. You made me want more from life. I had no idea how to handle it, so I ran. But I soon realized that no matter what I do, I couldn't take you off my mind, and I truly don't want you out of my mind." Joy could see his sincerity in his eyes. All the anger in her heart evaporated. She went into his arms. "I love you too, Osas, and I've missed you so much," she said, trying to hold back her tears. The both of them eventually went in and had lunch together. It was the beginning of a new chapter in their story. Their love blossomed as the days went by. Osas was now a different person. He no longer belonged to the streets or the shadows of smoky clubs. He had not even looked at another woman. These days, his time was split between work and Joy. She had become his peace, his person, his home. But while Joy smiled brighter, his circle of friends wore frowns. They noticed he no longer returned calls, missed hangouts. If he wasn't working, he was with the club girl. "Is it still the game?" one of them asked one night. "Or is there something else going on that we don't know about?" Paul scoffed. "Nah, man's gone soft." But Osas did not care, and when they asked directly, he shut them down. "What's going on between me and Joy is none of your business." Everyone backed out eventually, though they were pained, but no one took it harder than Polo. His bond with Osas had always come with benefits: free access, high connections, money that came just by association. But now, nothing. So he started plotting a way to get Joy out of the picture. She was spoiling his own business. He made his move one day. It was still early evening in the club. Joy had just checked in at the front desk when she saw him. Polo was dressed sharp as usual, with a smile that did not quite reach his eyes. "Polo," she blinked surprised. "What are you doing here?" "Can we talk?" he said, his voice low. "Just 30 minutes, please." Joy hesitated. Something about him felt off, but she nodded and followed him to a quiet lounge. Polo did not waste time. "Joy, see, I'm here because you deserve to know the truth. Osas does not love you. All this is just a game to him. He placed a bet with us that he would make you fall in love with him just to prove a point that he could get any woman he wanted. It was all a game to him. Joy's heart dropped. "I don't believe you," she whispered. But even as she said it, doubt slipped through her mind. "I'm not asking you to believe me," Paulo said, standing to leave. "Ask him. But don't tell him I said anything. See, I have a sister like you. I wouldn't sleep at night if I keep quiet." He walked away, leaving her there, shattered. Joy tried to keep her emotions in check as she worked, but everything Paulo said echoed louder with each passing second. Her hands trembled as she served drinks. Her mind spun, her chest tightened. By 8:30, she couldn't take it anymore. She signed out sick and called Osas. He came running. By 9 p.m., he was at Ayo's place, worried and breathless. "Babe, what's wrong? You sounded urgent." He froze when he saw her tear-streaked face. "Oh my God, Joy, why are you crying?" Her voice was steady, but sharp like a blade. "Why did you choose me?" He blinked. "What?" I said, "Why did you choose me, Osas? Of all the women, why me?" He stepped forward, confused. "Because I wanted to. I was curious about you at first. Then I fell in love with you. What's going on?" Joy stood, her eyes red and swollen, locked onto his. "So it wasn't because of a bet." Her voice cracked. "It wasn't because you wanted to prove to your friends that you could get me." There was silence. Osas froze. There it was, the moment of truth. One part of him screamed to come clean, to tear down the lies and show her his heart. But fear is a dangerous thing, and in that moment fear won, and so he lied. "I would never do that to you, Joy," he said, swallowing hard. "Whoever told you that wants to ruin what we have going. I promise you it's not true. I'm not that kind of guy." Maybe it was the way he said it, or maybe it was what she wanted to hear. Either way, she believed him. She wanted to believe him. Osas had no idea who the snitch was, but he knew it would be one of his friends. He hated confrontations, so he quietly let it go. What mattered to him was that he still had his Joy by his side. Their love became stronger. Joy even introduced him to her parents, and they welcomed him happily. The warmth, the love he felt in their home made him to think about marriage, and for the first time, the thought of being committed to one woman did not scare him. He went ahead and bought a ring, started making plans, but just when he thought his life was perfect, that everything was going well the way he wanted it to, life happened. Joy had gone over to Osas' place to spend the day. They had just finished lunch of jollof rice and fried plantain with cold drinks to match, and were curled up on the couch, joyfully lazing in each other's presence. Osas was lying beside her, head resting on her lap, while Joy playfully scrolled through his photo gallery. She teased him, laughing as she flipped through old pictures of him with unflattering haircuts. They were both laughing, until suddenly Joy stopped laughing. Her face changed. She froze. "Babe." Osas sat up slowly, noticing the way the color had drained from her face. "What's wrong?" Joy did not answer. Her hand trembled as she turned the phone toward him. Tears pooled in her eyes. "How could you, Osas?" So it was true. Everything Paulo said was true. Osas' heart dropped. He took the phone from her slowly, and there it was, the video, the one he had recorded over a month ago. He had meant to delete it, swore to himself that he would, but time had passed and he had totally forgotten about it. And now here it was, playing in front of the only woman who had ever truly made him feel like a man, playing in front of the only person that should never have seen it. He dropped to his knees. No, babe. It's not what you think. Please, let me explain. Joy stood, choking on her own tears. Explain what? That Polo was right. That this, us, was just a bet to you. A game. You've won, Osas. Congratulations. She grabbed her bag. Joy, please, he pleaded, almost crawling after her. Let me explain what happened. Please, just listen. But Joy was gone. She barely made it through Lagos traffic before she broke down completely in the backseat of her cab. Her heart had never hurt like this. This wasn't just heartbreak. This was betrayal, shame, humiliation. When she finally got to Ayo's place, the last thing she expected was to find him standing there. Osas, waiting. He was leaning against the gate, looking like a broken man. His eyes were red. What are you doing here? She said, her voice sharp. I told you, I never want to see you again. I know, he said softly. And if after this you still feel that way, I'll leave. But please, just let me talk. Joy stared at him for a long moment before unlocking the door. She said nothing as she stepped inside, and he followed quietly behind her. They sat. He faced her, and finally he told the truth. Polo was right. I lied. This started off as a game. Just me unable to swallow my pride and take no for an answer. No woman had ever said no to me before. I wanted to know who this girl that kept rejecting me was. My friends urged me to let you go, but I couldn't. I picked the challenge and bet with them that I would win, no matter what. I took up the challenge. Unfortunately, I found myself falling for you. Joy sat frozen, her tears silently streaming down her cheeks. I made that video with the intention to show my friends as proof. But after all was done, I could not bring myself to do it. I started feeling things I had never felt before. I tried to fight it, but I couldn't. Those weeks I stayed away from you were the hardest in my whole life. I could not believe that a woman could make me fall this hard. He took a deep breath. You were not supposed to see that video, Joy. I meant to delete that video. I swear I did. I just forgot it was there. But please believe me, everything after that was real. The way I looked at you, the way we laughed together. I wasn't pretending. You made me a better man. And now I don't know what my life would look like without you in it. Joy's voice cracked and she whispered, Why did you lie to me that day I asked you directly? Because I was scared, I said. Scared that you would walk away, that I'd lose the one thing in my life that was actually real. I panicked and I lied and I hate myself for it. She looked at him then, really looked at him. She saw the truth in his eyes, the regrets, the sorrow, the vulnerability. It wasn't a show. I forgive you, she said quietly, But don't you ever lie to me again. Ever. Be straight with me, always. And delete that video. I promise, Osas said, relief flooding his face. They held each other in silence, the kind of silence that felt like 1,000 unspoken words. Then Osas shifted. He reached into his pockets and pulled out a small box. I've been carrying this around for a week now, he said with a nervous smile. I wanted to wait for the perfect moment. Something fancy, something that will be memorable for the both of us. But right now, right here, this feels right. There could be no better time. He dropped to one knee and opened the box. A diamond sparkled inside. Real diamond. Joy, please marry me. Make me the happiest man alive. Joy gasped, covering her mouth with her hand. It took a full second before her brain caught up with her heart. Yes, she cried, laughing through tears. He slid the ring on her finger, and it fit perfectly. She stood, cupped her face and kissed her gently. Then he pulled back, holding her hands tightly in his. Thank you for saying yes, for giving me another chance. But I have one more thing to ask. What is it? Joy asked, smiling now, still staring at the ring. I don't want you working at that club anymore. She started to protest, but he raised a hand. Before you argue, hear me out. I'm a wealthy man, Joy. I could buy that club 10 times and pay off everyone in that club if I wanted to. I don't want my wife serving drinks and entertaining strangers. Keep your teaching job, it suits you better, but the club, let it go, please. Joy shook her head. You know why I need that job. My family depends on it. Your family is my family now. That's 12 million naira debt. Consider it gone, a drop in the hat. Whatever burden you're carrying, let me carry it for you, please. Joy's jaw fell slightly open. She stared at him. She was overwhelmed. I can't believe what I'm hearing, she whispered. Believe it, my love. You are stuck with me now, forever. Osas kept his word. The next day, he made a single phone call, and Joy's family debt was paid in full. Her mother wept with joy. They could not stop dancing. God had answered their prayers, finally. Joy resigned from the club that same week. It was bittersweet. She had built something of a second home there, and the girls had been like sisters to her. But she knew it was time to close that chapter and move on. Meanwhile, the day Paulo heard about the engagement, he did not hide his reaction. He stormed into Osas's house, eyes blazing. So, you're really going to marry that girl? Osas nodded. Calm, he was certain. You lied to us, bro, Paul said. You switched sides. No, Paulo, I just grew up. So you want to leave us because of a woman, because of a girl you met in the club? Osas's temper fled, but he kept it in check. No, not just a woman, my woman. And I did not leave. I just found someone who made me want more than empty nights and pointless ego games. Someone who finally showed me that there is more to life than all of this. And stop acting like you care. You're just upset because I don't throw my money aimlessly around you anymore. Paulo shook his head, unable to understand. And maybe he never would. He walked away, and Osas did not stop him. Some friendships, like some seasons, have their time and then they pass. The other guys, however, were happy for him, celebrated with him even, and concluded that if Osas could fall in love, then they too had a chance. The wedding finally came. It was small but elegant, just as Joy wanted. She wore a white gown that shimmered like starlight, her hair woven with delicate pearls. Osas couldn't take his eyes off her. She was just breathtakingly beautiful. They said their vows in the church, surrounded by close friends and family. Joy's father cried openly, and her mother danced like she was 25 again. As the ceremony went on, Osas pulled Joy aside. "I have one more promise to make," he said, taking her hands. Joy smiled. "What is it?" "The last one," he said. "I promise to never forget how close I came to losing you, and I will spend every day making sure you never doubt my love again." Tears shimmered in her eyes. "Then I promise to never stop believing you." And that was it. Not perfection, but love. Real, vulnerable, tested love. Hey lovers, thank you for listening to this story. If you are new here, welcome to our community. I hope you enjoyed listening to this story as much as I enjoyed creating it. If you have not done so already, please hit the subscribe button. And to support the growth of our community, give this video a big thumbs up. If you know someone who would enjoy a story like this, do not hesitate to share. Don't forget to leave a comment down below. Remember, like, share, drop a comment and subscribe. I'll take my leave now, but I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.